Previously, Godzilla almost kills Superman with his atomic breath, and Aquaman unleashes the Kraken on Godzilla. Today's story begins in the still silence of the Watchtower. Lois Lane speaks with Marcy Graves, Lex Luthor's trusted aide. Marcy admits that the Dreamstone and Toyman are missing, but refuses to say more. Lois reminds her that she has helped stop Lex before and begs her to do it again. This time for something much larger than corporate sabotage. After a long pause, Marcy softens and reveals that the monsters plaguing Earth are Toyman's doing, and one of them, a creature called Godzilla, isn't mindless, but an ancient guardian meant to preserve balance. She promises to forward Monarch files on the Titans before the feed cuts. In the med bay, golden light spills over the pod containing Superman's nearly lifeless body. Supergirl stands beside Lois, eyes full of restrained fury. She explains that the monster attacked not out of malice, but instinct, an enforcer of nature punishing an alien world of metahumans. Lois listens quietly, admitting she can't tell if Clark is alive. Kara assures her he is, though barely. The only hope now is sunlight and time. Far below the surface, the seas roar as Atlantis braces for war. The Kraken, Godzilla, and Tiamat tear through the deep, their movements shaking the dome of the undersea city. Hal Jordan strains against the pressure, his green constructs flickering under 10,000 tons of ocean. Aquaman orders his people to reinforce the dome, while Flash searches for the beacon drawing the Titans. Mera and Aqualad join him as Wonder Woman and Hal guard the city walls. Hal forms a massive net of light, trapping the beast, but the Kraken's pull rips the construct apart. Both monsters crash against Atlantis' barrier, fracturing it. Aquaman shouts orders while Mera refuses to retreat without finding the beacon. Flash finally locates it and speeds off to lure the creatures away, the water boiling in his wake. Above the wrecked seabed, Mera sees the Kraken driving Godzilla toward the abyss. Aquaman and Wonder Woman dive to help, planning to use enchanted chains to trap the monster. Before they can act, Godzilla unleashes a blast of atomic fire that scorches the city's shield. Arthur's furious cry echoes through the comms as the dome buckles. Elsewhere, the Knight hides a lone figure aboard a cargo ship, the Green Arrow. He mutters that the League of Assassins is usually Batman's problem, but that anything involving a monster skull is trouble for everyone. Moving through the shadows, he is quickly discovered by an entire squad of assassins. Outnumbered, he fires an explosive arrow, dives overboard, and then disappears into the sea with a single thought. New plan? Get help. High above, Cyborg races through cloud cover while updating Batman. Lois's Monarch data, he says, exposes the Titan's weaknesses. Batman confirms and asks about Atlantis. No word yet, Cyborg replies. But Supergirl is en route to Skull Island to check on Kong, the only Titan described as benevolent. Batman approves. Any ally that size is welcome. The two discuss a new machine Batman is constructing with the help of Wally West, who now runs on a cosmic treadmill powering their experiment. Cyborg signs off to intercept the reactivated beacon as Nightwing reports that blueprints are loaded and construction has begun. Over a Skull Island, Supergirl scans the jungle below. A thunderous roar answers her call. Kong beats his chest, the ground quaking. At his feet, Gorilla Grodd and an army of apes kneel in worship, hailing him as their god. Kara descends, warning that Kong isn't their savior, but Grodd greets her with a knowing smile. He dons a kryptonite-crowned helmet, releasing a psychic blast that pierces her mind. Supergirl screams, eyes turning green, and, under Grodd's control, she strikes Kong across the jaw, toppling him before hovering silently at Grodd's side. The Arctic Command Hub glows with cold light as Giganta and Black Manta scan feeds from a dozen war zones. Cheetah and Deathstroke report a riddle. Toyman appears on camera watching Godzilla rise, but then vanishes mid-frame. Deathstroke is sure he's in Metropolis. Before they can argue it out, alarms ring. Mr. Freeze enters with the verdict. A fresh beacon is calling the Titans back to Metropolis. Alone above the polar night, Billy Batson makes his choice. He ignores Batman and Cyborg's warnings to recon only and rockets straight into Legion's stronghold. Kind of too late for that. He detonates through the blast doors like a thunderbolt, fists and lightning shredding gun nests and catwalks. Despite the villains fighting back, Shazam plows through all of it, clearing a path on raw will. He knows he can't get them all, but he tries anyway, brawling room to room until Gigantor drops in like an avalanche and floors him with a single seismic punch. The base shudders. Shazam goes still on the ice. Beneath the Atlantic, Atlantis is one heartbeat from collapse. Hal Jordan strains against the dome until the pressure smothers his will and he blacks out. Just in time, Jon Stewart, Jessica Cruz, Guy Gardner, and Simon Baz arrive in a surge of emerald, bracing the barrier and ferrying Hal to safety. Outside the city, Aquaman and Wonder Woman use the enchanted nth metal chains to pin Godzilla's leg. The beast thrashes, atomic light blooming in the black, but the chains hold, for now. High above Metropolis, Lex Luthor seals himself inside his rebuilt Colossus. The link-up completes. Marcy Graves warns that the 4 Titans are inbound, likely dragged by a beacon inside Mechagodzilla. Lex refuses to disable it. He wants them to come. He wants to prove who the Alpha is. Over Tibet, a League of Assassins helicopter ferries a tarp giant skull to the Lazarus pit. Ra's al Ghul waits at the lip of that green abyss. Preparations are complete. 10 days after the Titans appeared, the Watchtower feels like a war room. Cyborg lists the damage. Superman down, Supergirl missing, Shazam likely captured. Toyman and the Dreamstone still accounted for. Wins? The Atlantean Dome is nearly rebuilt. Godzilla is trapped under nth metal, but 3 more monsters are marching towards Metropolis. Flash calls it what it is, not much of a victory. Green Arrow adds that Kong is off the board. Wonder Woman urges the worst-case plan. Batman sets it. Clear paths, evacuate, and make a stand at Centennial Park. On his way out, he pauses by the med bay, a sleeping Lois beside a golden pod. Later, Lois wakes to silence and empty pod. Superman's pod is empty. At the Legion's Arctic pad, engines thunder as a massive carrier lifts off. Grodd is still missing, someone notes, but the new Legion is en route. Manta confronts Lex on a secure link. They're a collective, not his soldiers, and summoning Titans is suicide without the Dreamstone to send them back. Lex, synced to Mechagodzilla, answers that with Godzilla bound and a metal god under his command, he is the Apex Titan. In Metropolis, Mechagodzilla's march turns avenues into fault lines. Across the skyline, something bigger answers. The Batmech descends, Batman piloting, Cyborg on systems, Flash sprinting with the power cradle. Lanterns fan out above. Wonder Woman, Donna Troy, Hawkgirl, and Aquaman take their ground lanes. The lanterns fuse their will into a towering construct, the Green Lantern Robo, similar to the Megazord by Power Rangers, emerald and battle-ready. Overhead, 2 Batwings knife through the smoke. Damian at the stick, Red Hood behind him. Freelancers pour from helicopters. Upgrade, Damian prods. Not yet. And then, both Batwings unfold mid-air into lean mechs and spear toward Tiamat. Hawkgirl braces Tiamat's jaws until Jason's guns hammer at the hinge, and Damian rakes fire across its pallet. She tears free. Bullseye, Jason says, just before a red beam slashes between them. Supergirl, mind-shackled by Grodd's kryptonite crown. She drops Donna with 1 strike and takes the sky against Wonder Woman, while Kong, also enthralled, crashes into the melee. Inside the Lantern Robo, the team clocks the switch. Kong and Supergirl are on the wrong side. Kong rips one massive emerald arm clean off. Guy Gardner tumbles with it, cursing, and Grodd drops on high to drive his head into the street. The lanterns cry out. The line wavers. Aquaman plants himself between Grodd and the corpse. "You're welcome to try," is his only warning. The ground force surges. Nightwing, Red Hood, Damian, the remaining lanterns, while Wally arrives in a blur and powders Grodd's chest with 100 punches. Mechagodzilla mauls the Batmech until Kong pins Batman's machine from behind. Beast Boy grows skyscraper tall, and cold cocks Kong. This Kong ain't got nothing on me. Only for Supergirl to swat him from the sky. Jessica Cruz snatches him mid-fall. Jon Stewart spots the lock. the green shard on Grodd's crown. Green arrow threads an arrow. Grodd plucks it from the air. Red Hood answers with heavy rounds that shatter the crown. Kara blinks free. "He made us fight you," she tells Kong, who hesitates long enough for the field to tilt. "Grodd's down. You're back with us," Hal says, then points past the front. The League of Assassins are advancing, and something worse behind them. A grotesque titan dragging a brood of smaller nightmares toward the city. The watchtower drifts in silence, filled only by Lois Lane's voice echoing through the static. She calls for Batman, Cyborg, Diana, anyone who can tell her what happened to Clark. Then, light engulfs the room. When it fades, Superman stands before her, radiant with solar fire. He explains in calm brevity. Batman and Cyborg turned the teleporter into a boom tube, sending him straight into the sun. The star rebuilt him. Relief breaks over her face. "Lois," Superman says quietly, "will you marry me?" "Obviously." They kiss in the glow of the earth below. She rests her forehead against his. He has to go. She'll fill him in when the world's safe again. Down in the ruins of Metropolis, Deathstroke and Cheetah comb through the destruction. Toyman appears on a replay feed muttering about his lovely pet, then vanishes between frames. They follow his trail to a crater stamped deep into the rubble, a single Godzilla footprint. Toyman lies crushed at its center. The Dreamstone is gone. Cheetah mutters that if they don't find it soon, none of them will survive what's coming next. The battle in Metropolis rages on. Titans tear through skyscrapers while heroes fight to hold the line. Wonder Woman commands her team to focus, strike the smaller beasts first, and buy Kong time to stand. Jon Stewart's voice snaps through the comms. "No time to mourn, size up again." Simon Baz responds, and Jessica Cruz kneels beside Beast Boy, cracking a vial under his nose. He jolts awake with a groan. "Smells like Clorox and hot dogs," then grows into a green titan roaring beside Kong. Hal Jordan watches from the street, noticing Guy's ring is missing. Kong wrestles a Skullcrawler while Behemoth charges from the flank, knocking it down. Kong hammers the fallen creature as Beast Boy slams it at his side. Together, they fight through swarming Skullcrawlers, primal and relentless. Overhead, Diana's lasso wraps a Skullcrawler's throat while Supergirl catches the other end. They pull in tandem until the neck snaps and the monster falls. "One down," Diana says. Far north, Superman cuts through the Arctic storm toward the villain's ruined base. Inside the debris, he finds Billy Batson chained and bruised. He tears the restraints apart with a flick of his wrist. Billy apologizes in panic. Superman steadies him with a hand on the shoulder. "It's okay, you were trying to help. But next time, stick to Shazam in combat." Billy nods. As they both fly free, he says, "Head for Metropolis." Billy asks, "Where are you going?" "One more stop," Superman replies, and streaks east toward the sea. Back in Metropolis, the Batmech staggers beneath Mechagodzilla's looming shadow. Cyborg's voice crackles through falling systems. Flash runs the cosmic treadmill at full speed, trying to pour more power through. Batman braces as Mechagodzilla's chest begins to glow, its atomic cannon charging. Motor functions down. We're out of time. Before the blast can fire, lightning tears the sky. Shazam smashes into Mechagodzilla's head, knocking its aim aside. The atomic breath lances harmlessly into a distant block, vaporizing a cluster of Skullcrawlers. Cyborg shouts, "We're back online!" Flash cheers. "Shazam, yes!" The Batmech powers up again, armor hissing. Batman scans his sensors. 5 targets closing. We can't give them our back. A shadow falls across the street as the Green Lantern robot drops from orbit. 4 lanterns piloting one massive construct, a glowing shield on its left arm. "Shield arm's the best I could whip up on short notice," Jon Stewart says through the comms. "Works for us," Batman replies. "Back to back? Let's do it." 2 metal giants lock formation, their combined fire lighting up the city. Across the next block, Donna Troy, Wonder Woman, and Shazam join forces to bring down the Behemoth in a single coordinated strike, the impact rattling towers. On the far flank, the crab monster Scylla collapses under lantern fire. Scylla is down, Supergirl reports, only to be smashed midair by Giganta's massive fist. She crashes through a skyscraper in a storm of glass. Far below the waves, Superman reaches the ocean trench. In the darkness, Godzilla opens his eyes, dorsal plates crackling with energy. Superman hovers before the chains and speaks softly into the pressure. The Titan didn't choose this world. It was forced here. A guardian of balance made a weapon. I'll send you home. The reply is a roar of atomic energy. Superman dives aside, not this time. He drives a single punch to the jaw, not to win, but to wake the beast's rage, and breaks the chain holding the beast in place. Freed, Godzilla fires again. Superman rides the shockwave upward. Sorry to get you riled up, he says under his breath, but we both have unfinished business. Back on the surface, Kong and Beast Boy fight surrounded by ruins. Kong crushes a Skullcrawler before another coils its tail around his throat. Beast Boy, still in giant form, smashes through attackers to help, shouting, "Get off him, you ugly snake lizard!" But Mechagodzilla's tail whips across the field and slams him into the rubble. On the ground, Batgirl and Batwoman push through debris, helping survivors flee. The League of Assassins doesn't care who dies, Batwoman growls. A beam of green light flashes overhead. A lantern ring finds Kong. Emerald armor wraps his chest. A hard latex forms in his hand. One swing cuts the Skullcrawler's tail. Another splits it clean through. Wonder Woman spots the momentum shift. We need to disarm Luthor's mech. Supergirl and Shazam take the left arm, while Diana and Donna take the right. Make a wish, Mr. Luthor. Metal screams as both limbs rip free. The Batmech surges forward, slamming Mechagodzilla across its knee in a brutal backbreaker. Great job, another one down. Incoming, Cyborg warns. A Skullcrawler bursts from the smoke and bites the Batmech in half. Red alarms fill Batman's cockpit. Then, the sky splits open with thunder. A boom tube tears across the clouds, flooding Metropolis in white light. From it emerge Superman and Godzilla side by side. "Here we go," he says, eyes blazing. Godzilla spots the remaining Skullcrawler and charges. Superman dives beside him. Atomic breath and heat vision combine into a single white beam that vaporizes the monster from within. Lantern Kong leaps through the blast and drives his glowing axe down for the final blow. The battlefield falls still. The ring lifts from Kong's finger and carries him into a glowing rift. Supergirl joins Superman. What now? Round up Lex, Ra's al Ghul, and the rest. It's over. Wonder Woman lands. The Dreamstone? Superman opens his palm. Its faint light pulses. Toyman's dead, crushed by Godzilla's foot. I overheard Cheetah and Deathstroke talking about it. Cyborg asks where he found it. Same foot. Flash mutters, weirdest week ever. Batman's dry voice crackles back. Yeah. Superman lifts the Dreamstone. Its light floods the sky. Godzilla and Kong roar one last time, fading into streams of energy that cross the horizon. That's the last of them. He looks to the lanterns, voice low. I'm sorry about Guy. Hal says he was hard to like. Simon calls him an acquired taste. Jessica adds, one that lingers. Moments later, Shazam lands with Cheetah and Deathstroke, unconscious, while Supergirl drags Lex bound and furious. Superman faces him. Luthor, whatever Toyman did, the responsibility is yours. Do the world a favor and stay out of my fortress. It's not a toy store. Days later, the city breathes again. In a quiet park, Clark and Lois sit together on a picnic blanket, sunlight flickering through the trees. He apologizes for the missed vacation. She says they'll make it up after the wedding. He offers to take her to the moon. She laughs that the watchtower view was enough. She holds up her hand, the ring glinting in the light. Nice stone, huh? You ready to be Mrs. Lane? So ready. They sit together in the calm, the city hall again beneath them. And that's it. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and comment your favorite moment down below. I'll see you next time on Superhero Explained.